Welcome to Everyday Linux User, and welcome to part 1 of learning about the Linux terminal. In today's guide we will be learning how to install software within Debian based distros such as Debian, Ubuntu, Mint, Zorin and MX Linux, using the advanced packaging tool, more commonly known as apt. To start with, let's look at how package managers work. A software developer will create an application. A distro maintainer will take that source code from that application and compile it into a binary, and they will package it up into the deb package format, which includes the binary files, dependency information, and information about the application. The distro maintainer will then add the Debian package into something called a repository. You can think of a repository a bit like a library. As a user, when you want to use a repository, you will need to make sure your sources.list file is pointing to that repository so that you can search and install software from within it. When you install a distribution such as Zorin or Ubuntu, they will usually have the sources.list file point to their repository straight away, and you don't need to do much else, but it is worth knowing what a repository is. The apt tool provides a command line interface to interrogate the repositories so that you can install, upgrade and remove software. The first thing I will show you how to do is how to update your repositories. Essentially, when you update your repository, you are pulling the latest information from the distribution's repositories down to your computer. This means that when you search repositories, you will have the most up-to-date information about which packages are available and the versions of those packages that are available. To update your repositories, type sudo apt update. You will see it scrolls through a load of text and you will see the words hit and a path to a web address. These are the repositories. You may notice at the bottom that it says there are packages that can be upgraded. The reason that it knows this is that when you install an application, you may have installed version 1.4 for instance, and when the repository list is updated, it can see that 1.5 is available. This means there is a newer version of the package that you can use. I'm now going to show you two commands. The first command shows you how to upgrade your software to the latest version available in your repositories. Type sudo apt upgrade. You will see a list of text appear and it will show you a list of applications and libraries that will be updated. You will also see that it says some packages are no longer required. We will come back to that shortly. If you are happy to upgrade your packages to the latest version available, press Y and return. The default is actually Y, so you could just press return if you so wish. You don't really need to pay too much attention to what happens next. Just be patient, and when the process is complete, you will be back at your cursor. Let's talk about those libraries that it said can be safely ignored. What happened? Why are they no longer required? Okay, so imagine you install version 1 of a music player, and that player uses a library called super output to output the songs you choose to play to your speakers. Now imagine that the developers decide to use a different library called magic output to output to the speakers because it is better than super output. Let's call the new version of the software version 2. When you use sudo apt upgrade, it will install the latest version of your music player, and it will install magic output as well. But super output will still be installed on your system, even though it isn't needed anymore. One way to get rid of these packages is to type sudo apt auto remove, and this will clear out packages that were installed previously that are no longer required. The second habit you can get into is, instead of running sudo apt upgrade, is to type sudo apt full -upgrade, as this automatically clears packages that are no longer required whilst upgrading. Thus far we have only dealt with updating repositories and upgrading software already installed on your system. What about finding and installing new software? To start with, let's find a package to install. You can search for a package by name or description. For example, to find a music player, type sudo apt and then within quotes, audio space player. Now the text can scroll up the screen fairly quickly. To paginate the results, type sudo apt install and then the thing you're searching for, and then the pipe symbol and then more. Press the space bar to go through each page, and when you have found a package you like, you can install it in the following way. Firstly, to exit the search, press the Q button, and now you only need the bit before the slash. So if I want to install QMMP for instance, I just type the following: sudo apt install QMMP. I don't need to type sudo apt install QMMP /jammy. You will see a list of packages that will be installed. Don't be alarmed by the amount of them. QMMP will be installed for instance, but so will all its dependencies. You can press Y to continue the install or simply press return as the Y is the default. When the package is installed, you will be back at the cursor. How about uninstalling applications? There are two commands to be aware of when uninstalling packages. The first is sudo apt remove and then the name of your package. For example, sudo apt remove qmmp. This will remove qmmp from the system and you won't be able to run it anymore. However, any configuration files created by the application will not be uninstalled. If you think you're going to reinstall the software, this is the best option to use, as it means any configuration settings you made previously will still be there when you reinstall the software. If you never intend on using the application, or you think the configuration files may be messed up, you can use sudo apt purge and then the name of the application. For example, sudo apt purge qmmp. This removes everything to do with the application from your system, including configuration files. Talking of reinstalling software, if you have a piece of software such as qmmp and it isn't working properly, and you think it may have been corrupted in some way, then you can reinstall it using this command. Sudo apt reinstall and the name of the application. For example, sudo apt reinstall qmmp. Imagine you are looking for an application to install and you find one, but you want to see more information about it before you install it. For example, I have searched here for an image generator using sudo apt search and then image generator within quotes. You can see here the description for Brig isn't very clear. If I type sudo apt show Brig, then I get a full screen of information about it. You can see who the developers are, a full description, the libraries it uses, and the installation size, etc. You can edit the repositories by typing sudo space nano space /etc/apt/sources.list. The format of a repository is usually deb followed by the path to the repository, and then a list of repository names separated by spaces. For example, you can see here for Ubuntu there is deb space http://gb.archive.ubuntu.com/ubuntu followed by jammy and then main and restricted. To exit Nano, press Ctrl and X. If you make changes, be careful when doing this by the way. Press Ctrl and O and then Ctrl and X to save the file and exit. You can then run sudo apt update to update your repositories again. A safer way to add repositories is to add a new file in the etc apt sources.list.d folder. Type cd/etc/apt/sources.list.d and then type ls. This shows you a list of repository files. You can add in your own list files into this folder, and when you run sudo apt update, it will read that file. If you make a mistake, you can either delete your file from the folder or edit it and make it right. For now, that is the end of the video. I hope you found it useful, and if you are using any Debian based distro, you should now be able to install applications via the command line. Not all applications exist in the repositories, and so next time I will show you how to set up and use Flatpaks. You know what to do next. Thank you for watching.